there are still people out there that actually care about others. And you don't, like I say, you don't find that anymore, overall. They see, somebody winds up, they have to move. Okay, somebody winds up homeless, they need to find a place, but they still have enough money to get their stuff out. They can't do it alone. These guys do it. They come out, they don't want anything, they just, boom, they're helping. That's what it comes down to.
No, we really started off with just reaching out to some of our own acquaintances, people that we felt would share the heart for helping others in the community. We started with each one contributing a handful of names of people, and then invited them all to come and hear what we had in mind to see if it was something they'd be interested in. And we were fortunate enough that the vast majority that showed up in that first meeting did sign on, and things got underway.
Fingers?
We probably just do them while we're here.
Yeah.
We're not showing any.
This is our first time helping with Samaritan Network, but we do things at our own church, and we just feel lucky that we've been blessed and that we're lucky enough to be able to help other people.
You know, there are so many people that just need short-term help. You know, it doesn't have to be big chronic cases and so forth. And we ourselves know a bunch of people that would be willing to do little one-off things and not, that don't require a huge commitment. So it's really a question of, gosh, I wonder if we can come up with something where it's essentially a matchmaking service between people who have these short-term needs and people willing to go and help them out with these needs. And that's kind of how it came about. So it's almost irresistible, I think, to Dave's point about when you introduce it to somebody, if they have any kind of giving heart at all, and you explain, look, all you got to do is get an email occasionally. It either speaks to you and you jump in, or it doesn't. You wait for the next one. It's really almost hard for them to say, no, that doesn't sound good. And so with that word of mouth, I think a lot of people end up saying, yeah, sure, sign me up. And we grow like that.
My name is Rebecca Cruz.
Okay.
I live here in Aurora. I'm 34 years old. I got 5 kids. Came into contact with the Samaritan Network because I was looking for help to pay my rent, because I was having troubles because of my job. They had reduced my hours and everything. So I went to the Hesed House, and the Hesed House gave me a list of people that will help with rental, with your rental expenses. So they gave me the Good Samaritan Network phone, and I got the phone number from there, and then I got a hold of Good Samaritan Network.
I mean, one for me that really brought our whole network kind of together and really leveraged off a lot of different resources was a home makeover we did about this time last year. I mean, I think everyone, I would love to be able to do another one of those, right? I mean, it just really, gives me chills right now that that one was far more memorable. I mean, they're all memorable, obviously, but this one was much more sticks in my mind than all the others.
Well, it was actually more than what I expected. What I thought that the Good Samaritan Network did was just going to help with the rent, but they did a little bit more than that. When I came in here, as you can see around the house, this is everything they did. They repainted the house. They did some work on the cabinets. They did all the rooms. I thought it was just going to help me to pay half the rent, and they paid for half of the year of the rent and had the rent reduced with my landlord.
Faith was the very foundation of the Samaritan Network. And it really started with that. When you think about, at least for John and I, talking about going on mission trips to help people, it was through church or religious organizations. And I think Tim and Dave, the 3 of these guys all went to the same church at the time. So it's really kind of the bedrock in the first place of Samaritan Network and following that command that Tim said. But I know I can speak for a couple of my clients who have really been affected because they really find it hard to believe. Again, why are you doing this? And when you say it's because I think that's what we're called to do. It has that impact. I mean, we don't necessarily go around throwing Bibles at people or anything, but it's absolutely interwoven with every single thing we do, just our approach. And I think the members understand that, and our clients understand that. It's the way we're supposed to be.
I think it taught me a lesson. Because I was going through a rough time, and when you go through a rough time, you begin to doubt, you begin to lose faith. But it brought back my faith that I do have a big God, that I do have a miracle working God, and that I shouldn't worry about anything, because He's there to provide. He'll use people to help me provide, to help me get through. So, yeah, I think so. I think so. It's made things a lot easier, less stressful.
But there are a lot of people just in a very local area. You could go about 3 miles down the road, and there are people that have really, really difficult lives. And to be able to see that in action, so you do know exactly where it's going. We don't take any money for any of this. Anything that's donated in terms of services or money goes directly to help that individual. And everybody's welcome to kind of go with us and help, so they can see it in action and get that great feeling that comes from helping someone else out. And the clients themselves, it just gives you chills. They're so grateful that just anybody is willing to hear them out and help them. That it's just incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that people really like is, first of all, the variety of cases. We can have just some huge ones where we're doing a house makeover, or we can have some little short ones where somebody needs assistance moving.
I want to say something about the Good Samaritan Network. Oh, it's funny because when the Good Samaritan Network came in here, half of them are people, they get together from different people, and these different people don't have the same beliefs. So a lot of them thought that what they did was coming because I want to help people. But little do they know is that God installed it in them to want to help this other people. So whether they believe or not, God believes in them. God uses them to help people. This is my addition to my family. The end of the addition to my family. Yeah, no more. No more. This is done. Factory closed over.
And I think the quickness is really important too, to be able to respond so quickly. I mean, we'll get a call, perfect example, we'll get a call last week that there was a vet who needed some things moved out of his house into a pod, and sent the notice out on a Monday. Tuesday or Wednesday, we had people there ready to go. I mean, that was just unbelievable how quickly we can respond, and again, I'm just blown away by the response of our network.
I moved out here to Naperville. I moved from Skokie. And I was actually incorporating 2 houses into one because it was right after my dad passed away. So I had all of my parents' things plus my stuff with my wife and my kids. So everything got moved out here, and this place was actually pretty much big enough to accommodate everything that I had from the 2 houses. But since I can't do the stairs anymore and I want to get into one level, so I'm going to be giving away a lot of stuff, donating a lot of stuff, and just basically, condensing what I own down to manageable for a much smaller residence.
Tons of people, they don't need, it's not chronic illness and it's not homelessness and things that are just really difficult problems, but they just need help getting past a tough patch that if we can match those 2 up, it makes just an enormous difference.
Being on disability, it's hard for me to move stuff around. I packed just about everything in here by myself. I had a friend of mine give me a hand the other day, and I contacted the social worker from Naperville PD, Mike Hoffman. He got in touch with these people, and they were nice enough to come out here and help me basically load. They actually did all the loading. They loaded the whole pod by themselves. They wouldn't let me do anything, which was fine with me because I'm not really supposed to anyway, and I did enough physical work just packing everything up as it was. So, I mean, they did me a huge favor.
To be able to talk to someone who is sobbing on the phone because no one else will help them with whatever that need is, turn around and in an hour send out an email, and within a few hours have the entire need answered the next day. And they might have spent months or years trying to get their situation resolved through the formal channels that most people will go through, to no success at all. And they come to Samaritan Network and we nail it down in hours, days, or maybe a couple weeks, but generally speaking, very rapidly. And it's just hard to believe. It's hard for us to believe that it happens, but it's very hard for the client to believe that there are just people that want to do this for when there's nothing in it for themselves whatsoever.
These people come out and help people out that can't do this stuff for themselves, which is not a bad deal. Too many people don't want to help anybody else. They say, well, that's if they can't do it, too bad. We're not, we have to take care of ourselves. They don't look at it that way. They all came out here at about 7 o'clock and just went right to work, which to me is awesome. I don't normally, find people like that anymore.
I think the main thing is that through good hard work and people word of mouth, our membership is growing, and that's the important thing is, as we're exposed to more organizations, we're exposed to different individuals and different churches and community groups within the area, we're leveraging those relationships to expand the network. And as you expand the network, you're also being exposed to more opportunities to bring cases in that we can serve the community.
The more people that get involved in helping others, it's like a ripple effect. A couple people start and more join because they see, okay, these people are nice, they're helping out. They'll join, and that spreads out. And the more people get that help that they need, the more they say, you know what, I like this. I'm going to do it too. So they pay back by assisting and doing for others what these people did for them. So yeah, it's a little bit inspiring to me.
We've barely begun to scratch the surface. There are so many people out that are willing to do a little bit when it's convenient for them on their terms, but they're not going to initiate. They're very willing to do it, but they want it to come to them. And most charities out there say, you do it on our terms, on our time, for our cause, and all the rest. To have an organization that can reach out to them and say, here's the opportunity. It's going to be roughly in this time frame, and it's needs about this much funds, and let them give what they can give when they can give it. There's a huge untapped potential.
It showed them the miracle working power of God and how God uses people to help out in times of trouble. It taught them a lesson.